Hi guys, I am trying to do really interesting series this month. As you notice, I did Gypsy and I did monthlies because we are going into this Mercury Retrograde. So check my Mercury Retrograde video. I'm going to put it somewhere in the corner if I remember, and if not, just cruise my channel. I just post it on the same day. And I figured, because many of you will want to know if their X is coming back. So here is the X series here. X series is still, I guess, on a special. It's not $65, it is still $50, so take advantage of it. Check me on cattarot.ca, www.cattarot.ca. And I also have a speed up promotion, so you get it within a week. So it's a good time to kind of grab it. And also, whatever it is, a general reading here doesn't have to be you. So that's a good news or bad news depending on what the reading is. I am using these cards. They are from a different deck. I have the same cards in this deck. For example, these are just the titles of the book, and they are kind of signifying to me the category. It took me quite a few years to develop the concept that actually works, that I can actually really securely say the answer. So this category here is going to tell me really everything that is going on for you as a couple. This is going to tell me everything that is ungluing you as a couple. So here I'm going to be able to know if your relationship is ever if there is a possibility for ever making it. I'm using the fire here for dating because Queen of Wands and Knight of Wands, whether you're like girl to girl, boy and boy, maybe you should use woman to woman to be politically correct, and I hate being politically correct. And the energies and communication in between. The reason why I'm using wands is, one, I'm rule breaker. I'm Aquarius, and I don't like to follow things, especially when they don't make sense. So astrology and tarot can be linked together. It does make sense, but when we are dating, we all shift initially, and even when we kind of reunite with someone, we don't go immediately, okay, thanks for coming, I'm going to just sit on a couch and finish my movie. No, we don't go to our regular mode. We are into this dating mode, and that is action, that is fire. So that's why I'm using fire. And these two categories are going to really tell me about the outcome. One, if this is in your best interest, if karma really wants you to do that, and really what is the next step and how is this going to progress. So now when you have this common introduction, please don't ask me why do I have the same cards everywhere, because each and every time it happens. So I was really quick with this, and I'm going to go and start with the reading for each sign. So let's go. Hi Sagittarians, so let's see what's going to happen if your ex is coming back this period. This is kind of really interesting. You are entering this Mercury retrograde period with sort of heavy heart, I think. You are hoping for this person to come through, but you don't think it is. It's sort of like that fight between head and heart. And I see here a possible third-party situation, maybe something that has happened in the past and something that had to be resolved before certain things can move forward. You are really going to spend in this time period lots of time going inward, thinking about yourself, how you deal with different issues. You're trying to heal from something. You're still very guarded over some kind of issues, because you're getting the Star, my favorite card, in the karma kind of category over here. This kind of is very significant. So King of Cups is very positive. This is falling in the communication. The High Priestess is also somebody who is learning. Maybe the things that have happened in the past are now kind of like sending those ripple effects where you're kind of like learning about yourself. Because this is definitely, and I did have the Hangman jumping out as I was shuffling, kind of this is that energy coming through. Oh boy, look at all these nines. Something is happening on a level that maybe somebody wants to be alone. Or maybe you want to have something happening, going on, where you're not letting people in emotionally. You maybe feel that it has been too hard. Yeah, absolutely. Something has finished. You had discussed it over something that happened in the past. Something happened that you really badly wanted, and maybe you didn't recognize it when it was happening. Because you were holding, you're protecting your heart. Look at these fours over here. No, I am not ready for these emotions. No, I'm not ready for this integration. It is like really speaking very loudly over there. Somebody needed to feel victorious in the situation. But I think the conclusion, what had to happen, did not happen. Something really messed the situation up. This card is the soulmate card that talks about basically things are not happening, and it is 2 on 2. I have a feeling, Sagittarians, that it was the partner who just vanished. Just vanished. And it was maybe somebody you adored. The star card is there that you had really high hopes for, and then it's just like sent your entire life to turbulence, to maybe some kind of like questioning everything, absolutely everything, from maybe the family you want to have or don't want to have. Because look at this, one is a family, one is a hermit. So which way is it, my dear Saggy, right? So one is it, hey, I win. Another one is like, oh good God, right? So this is a good lesson, because they're both falling into this kind of like glue, or yeah, something that can work. But look, both cards are not the way it should be in a relationship. Like that, do you really want to feel like a winner in a relationship that somebody has to lose? Or do you really want to up somebody one? This is a lots of exchange energy that is still kind of resonating and kind of like putting you sort of like close inside. Somebody was juggling in the situation, and this juggling kind of like fell down. It kind of, I don't know, was there a family involved, Sagittarius, in here? Because you have this family card over here, but you also have the third person card and some secrets. So was there a secret affair that has been happening, because that maybe ended, didn't go anywhere, and that's why this kind of would connect? And why are you disgusted over that? Because you didn't win in the situation? Because you have this Two of Swords. Two of Swords is saying you were not the one making a choice. Look, you have a 2, I have a 2, you have a 2. Somebody else made this choice. So is this about you winning, because you have these 2 cards that are all about, oh, you know, it has to be my way? But it didn't happen this way. And it's kind of like really interesting how this kind of like revolved. Yeah, the third person. Look at this swords happening here. This relationship is impossible. You know, like I told you, I have all these dimensions. And look at this. If this is happening, if these are your friends, you don't want enemies then, right? Like if this is how this is showing. Look at this Queen of Cups. So yes, there is somebody else. Oh boy, are you divorcing somebody, guys? The Justice card? Or the person is divorcing you? Is that was the problem? That something was legal and things couldn't happen? There were more people, and somebody really wanted to win in a situation, maybe win a settlement. It was a fierce fight. Look, all bruised, all broken, but still standing, still continuing. You Sagittarians are indestructible, so that is kind of like really sweet about it. But this is your public face. You're putting this happy face to the others, but you're going through lots of dark times. The problem is like you're not finding the answers that you need to find. I'm actually surprised that I didn't see Queen of Swords reversed, because that's kind of like the flavor I'm well, I'm seeing Ace of Swords very close. So it's some kind of cutting energy, and see, these two cards are very similar, and so is like Queen of Swords would be just like that. So we got very similar thing, because I was kind of feeling this to happen. But this one is reversed. So one person feels something ended in a very harsh way, and I see this ending this with this Queen of Cups, and Queen of Cups basically means lots of tears, lots of devastation, and over possibly the third party that has been kind of like involved. You know, whether this is you or this is your partner, it's kind of like situation maybe it was just one of those, you know, leaving while somebody's crying, because there was no victory. It just like really felt not being able to make some kind of decision. Maybe somebody wanted something from you. But this is kind of intriguing me that the healing didn't take place, even though if that other person walked away, that other person didn't heal either. This is one of the karma cards, and this is second of the karma cards. This has been a very important relationship. I think the karmic contract has been cut, and hence it feels it takes time to heal, because some lessons had to be learned. It's kind of weird here that somebody wants to come through. Somebody wants to come and offer the best possible love. I love King of Cups. It's not simply the person I could marry as an Aquarian, but King of Cups is the person who is possibly the perfect person. It's somebody who listens, who is maybe shy, who is maybe a little quiet, who always wants to listen. It's kind of like putting almost like your needs before his or hers, and you know this person is going to be a soft place to fall. And this is not knight in the shining armor, and it goes and brings you flowers, and it's kind of teenager like expectation, but this is the real deal. But the other person is saying, I don't think so. I don't think this is going anywhere. And there may be even financial reasons, or there is maybe the past catching up. It's just like amazing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 twos. We just need the judgment, and then we have the whole opus over here. And there's another karma card. You know what? I will tell you. This is going to be toward the end of the retrograde, around the 15th of the April, that something significant will change. One party here feels very, very wronged and broken. This is telling me that there is a new cycle. Look, as you're going from 9 to 10 to 11, 9, 10, 11, and 1. It's a new shift. If you guys suffered, which I do see here suffering, I do see here soul searching, I do see here digging really deep in your experiences, trying to find a mystery kind of like solution. And maybe this kind of breakup happened a while back, because what I'm also seeing here, dissatisfaction with anything new, kind of like inability to start something new, and maybe this is kind of the impact these two individuals made upon each other. Certain things are coming on the surface. This card is also the card of communication, something that comes very fast. That's why I call it this karma card. It's like literally the executioner part, right, that is coming. And this kind of means it's time for the new shift again. some things will finally come to the surface. What you were digging over here, because the High Priestess is the moon, it's kind of bubbling up. The clarity is finally reached, and I think it's very clear for me to see here. The clarity that needs to be reached is like that nobody can be a winner. When you have arguments in relationships, you never win. You always lose, absolutely always. See, there was no teamwork, and there was not teamwork because it was an extra wheel in this whole situation. So the key is to face your own demons. You're having the Chariot card. It could be a kind of travel card. It could be a card about going forward. It could be a card of huge momentum forward. It's somebody is like still not happy on their own. They are not focusing on what makes them happy. I have lots of 9s, and I had a few signs that had these 9s. 9 is the messages from heavens, from God. They're penetrating your crown chakra. You are simply being called to do the right thing. 4 9s. Holy moly. 5 9s. That's what I said. I actually did get them all. We did get this moon card. And we are looking here also for the judgment card. So let me see the world. There I go. It's going in the next phase. Look at this. Talking about the next phase. Next phase. Next phase. Next phase. And let's see what is that next phase. You're tired. Okay, so something is looking up. These two cards are usually connecting, but not when this one is in this kind of like situation, in this category that sort of like takes things apart. So first of all, let's see this column. Looks like this relationship is doomed. Look at the swords, all in the head. Lots of anticipation of issues, lots of unhappiness, where, you know, lots of solo times that are happening. What needs to be repaired? It looks like there is somebody else as well in this whole thing that kind of like is interacting. So things need to move forward, and looks like whether you're going to move forward with this person, because one person is very clear that things are over, super clear. But it looks like you will want to appear in their life or reappear in their life and suggest a way of rebuilding it. You'll be thinking through that a lot, because look at how many swords you have. Like you have the 2 here, and you have 2 here, 3 here, kind of like really crucial. And these are also air signs. This is kind of really push of mental energy, kind of like finally something really sitting through. And the Wheel of Fortune would be your card, Sagis, as well, kind of like getting you in a better phase in your life. So this is kind of going to be very interesting, something that was completely out of balance. If you feel victimized and you want the other person to kind of like, you know, pay attention to you, you're not going to get that, because they actually feel victimized themselves, and this is why they pulled away. The interpretation of the events is completely different. It's completely different. You, to rebuild this, you will totally need to start from the scratch, completely from the new phase. Cut the past entirely. This person is going to still very much hesitate if they really do want to move forward with you. I think they fully kind of recovered, and you kind of like see this person as very charismatic and sort of like a good catch. And they see you as somebody, they wanted you for some romantic qualities that you had. So whether both of you acted these things while you were together, this is kind of like where this has been left on, kind of like believing that this is what needs to happen. So it's going to be interesting, because honestly I see lots of blame going around with all this like powerful 9s. 9 9 9 9 9 9s are the ending of the phase. And I think honestly, with how strongly this karmic connection was here, this could be like months or even years after the breakup, because the resonance is like so heavy. Certain lessons had to be learned, but maybe it's going to be one more of this hello and goodbye, you know, like a revolving door. When you kind of call the ex, hey, how are you doing? Hey, I'm fine, everything is fine, thanks, I just wanted to check on you. It's going to be one of those last sentences you will ever exchange. So if I were you, I would really prepare for that and prepare that sentence. And I do feel it's going to be goodbye. I do feel it's maybe going to be clarification, because the healing needs to happen for both people, the Star and the Hermit over here. And the Justice, if the blame starts to kind of fly around, this discussion is not going to be productive and you'll be cut off. That's what I'm just telling you here. I mean, either way, you or the other person will be cut off. But I think the key over here will be start moving forward, because the Chariot is moving forward. And the Chariot is still the hope for, on behalf of one person, to kind of like be good in a relationship, to kind of like really accomplish meeting of the minds. Because look at him, he is having these two Sphinx, and check them out. Forget the Chariot for a second. Do you think these two Sphinx would go forward? No. This one will go here and this one will go here. So hence they have the mind of their own. Is he having any strings to pull? Nope. He has the strength of will. And look at this, the Star is here in the crown. So he's still having some residue of something that has to be healed, because this is the card where we face our demons. And so is this one, because he has the Star in his lantern. In an early deck it was an hourglass, kind of reminding us that time is up for us to make good decisions. So this is going to be really interesting. This is a definitely new phase. Whether it's going to be better or worse, I don't know, but you know, you're clearing some karmic residues, and this is a biggie. This is a really biggie. So I would love to hear your comments. I would love if you subscribe, because then you get invite for my live on Saturdays. And also if you share and comment, this is even better, because then I can kind of like fully understand what kind of situation you've seen here, and this is how you learn tarot. You actually never stop. So such is all the best. And to get your own private reading, because this is general, let me tell you one more time. To get your private one, contact me at www.cattarot.ca. And until the next time, I love you. Bye.